Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. It's about 7:50 on Thursday evening, and I want to do a video update for you guys tonight. Sort of talk about the near term and what we were going to experience this weekend with a nice warm-up and some rain, and then talk more about the long term and talk about our snow chances and the cool downs as well. The polar vortex, man, that was nothing to be messed with, was it? A couple of 3 nights of just absolutely bitterly cold temperatures. Got down to -7 really a couple of nights at my house, and that's as cold as I personally would like to see it. I'd like to see it warmer than that and not come back. But we'll talk about whether that's going to return here in a minute. We take a look at radar for tonight. You see a big batch of snow that has moved through us. Again, this was not... I've noted this several times on Facebook today. This was not big accumulations. This was sort of a dusting at best event for most of us. I woke up with a dusting on my car whenever I got up this morning, and all that batch is well moved on to the north of us. We had another batch this afternoon, and we've got another little batch producing just more of an annoyance type of snow right now. So if you're going to be out on the road tonight and even tomorrow morning, just understand that you may see a slick spot here and there. Just slow down and use some extra caution because we're cold enough right now. You know, we're down to 34 here in Huntingburg and 35 in Evansville, but our pavement temperatures and grass temperatures are certainly a lot cooler than that. So certainly things are sticking, and the more north you get where you're already below freezing, obviously, then you're going to see some sticking up there. But again, this is going to be very minor accumulations. And as you just kind of pan out, and we'll take off the temperatures here, what you see is clear skies behind it. So even though we're going to have a pretty heavy rain event tomorrow, it looks like for the time being it's not going to be all that bad. All right, let's take a look at future radar, and we'll put this into motion. And here we are. We're going to start out pretty much about where we are right now with that snow batch moving through. That moves through, it's gone, and pretty much the point that I want you to be able to see at this point is that we get a good break in the action as you go through this. And then, as we go through the overnight hours, we continue that break, maybe a few spotty showers here and there. But then we're going to take a look at this big swath of rain heading towards us tomorrow. So by the time you go through tomorrow afternoon, here's Friday at 4 p.m., you get heavy rain over us. So it looks like the morning commute will be fine as far as rain goes. Even through the morning, it's going to be more of an afternoon event. Things could speed up a little bit more than the models show. So sometime in the afternoon is when we expect those rains to come in, but this model takes it 2 or 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock. Then we get a little bit of a break again, and another big wave moves through. And you can see this thing looks impressive, but I'm not worried about severe weather with this at all, folks. The parameters just aren't there, nothing to worry about. But all these reds are very heavy rain, so just expect that we could see some heavy rain tomorrow night as we go throughout this, and even into the overnight hours on Saturday. So finally, here we are at 7 a.m. on Saturday. Most of the rain is past us. This little model wants to take the high-resolution NAM, wants to bring a few snow showers around. I'm not convinced about that, potentially. Maybe a few showers on the backside of the system straggling, but it looks like Saturday morning will be the wet, and by the time you hit past noon, it's going to be pretty much done. Now, even with this big-time rain event coming, we want to talk about temperatures. And before we get there and the next storm system's coming up, I want to show you the NAO. Remember, the NAO is the North Atlantic Oscillation. We've seen this before. Anytime it is negative, remember that means there's a blocking pattern out in the North Atlantic Ocean. So if we just flip out here and we move back, essentially what it means, off the coast of Greenland up in here, you have a high pressure that develops that whenever storm systems start to track across their way, they can't just track in sort of an east to west fashion out the ocean. They have to they're blocked by this high pressure. They have to go north of it. So they start to kind of curve up our way, or even down here and curve up the east coast, and that's conducive to us getting more storm systems. When it's in this positive phase, they can go out, but all the way to the end of the blue line is where the analyzed is what actually happened. The different bubbles that you see on here are the different model runs of the ECMWF. This is the Euro model, European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecast. And if you really want to know what that stands for, I call it the Euro model for short most of the time, sometimes just the EC. You hear me call it different things. But notice where the Euro takes us, and it goes sharply negative, really here from about the 11th of January on, as far as the eye can see, it goes sharply negative. Now that is a blocking pattern in place that's going to be important. Let's take a look at what the GFS is saying. I do have some issues with the GFS, but unfortunately it's the only model that really takes us out long range where we can see that pattern of what's going on. And we'll talk about this. Keep in mind that the Euro, which frankly is the most reliable of all our computer models generally, is predicting that blocking pattern, so let's keep that in play. All right, we'll animate this in time. The cold front moves through here Saturday at 7 a.m. You see that heavy rain swath that's moved through. The GFS has it taken out. Sunday looks pretty decent. In fact, I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies for Sunday at this point. Then you got some more disturbances that are going to move in. And by the way, if you remember on these, the first blue line is that rain-snow changeover line. So that's typically where your 32-degree line is. Not 100%, but just understand your transition between below freezing and freezing temperatures are around there. So you see we warm up pretty nicely, and then you see that blue line start to come back over us. Now on Monday at 1 in the afternoon, the GFS is a little bit aggressive here in trying to bring some scattered snow flurries around. I actually have our temperatures a lot warmer than this based off of what the Euro model does. But we'll just go by what the GFS says and just show you the chances that we have at snow. If you believe this, maybe a few chances for flurries, but I'm skeptical of that. Then by the time Tuesday rolls around, you got a system moving to our north. That one moves out. By the time Tuesday night comes, it wants to dive a little disturbance down into us that might give us some snow on the backside of this system. I'm forecasting partly cloudy skies on Monday and Tuesday both, I believe, with some slight chances of rain. Might end to some snow flurries on Tuesday night, but again, this is nothing serious to worry about. As far as the eye can see, really, as you see, we don't have anything major that's worrying about. Here's another pretty potent storm system, though, moving in to the Great Lakes region. This is 1 o'clock on January the 16th. And as we put this in motion a little bit more, it looks mostly dry for us, but you notice, then all of a sudden it seems like it interacts down here a little bit with the Gulf moisture and starts funneling north. That might make a few snow flurries. This looks like it might even have a decent snow event for eastern Kentucky. It pretty much screws us out of nothing over here. So again, this is long range though. We're talking the end of next week, so we're talking about 8 days away from this. So lots could change. Keep an eye on that pattern. Then as we go through into our extended period where we're past 10 days, you can see there's some more snows that move to our north. And the GFS wants to bring us another decent heavy rain event here on the 23rd of January, and it could be some snow on the back side of that system. And then here, by the time we move into this, we're into the 25th of January on Saturday, and you see another big storm system moving our way from there. So really, my point in showing you that is there's nothing big on the radar screen, so to speak, right here that would say, oh, this looks like we're going to have a mega snowstorm out of it, if you believe the GFS. Now, the European model is not caught on to anything big either with this. It sees these same things, but again, remember, you've got here around the 23rd of January a pretty decent sized storm system. So if that goes a little bit to the south of us, that definitely could impact us with some snow. And you got some other little disturbances that move through as well. Now I want to show you this. This is something that the European model has caught on to that the GFS has not. And what we're looking at here is polar vortex again, and the polar vortex, remember, oftentimes it splits off into multiple pieces. The main brunt of the polar vortex still is way up here in Canada, but it's got a piece of that cold air that has broke off and dove down our way over us. So would it be as cold as what we just experienced? I don't think it would be quite as cold, but if this pans out, you're talking about some stinking cold temperatures again. The rain-snow changeover line is all the way down into Nashville, and so here we are, 150 miles plus north of that. Yes, we could see some cold temperatures, so we're definitely looking at high temperatures in the 20s, according to this model, and maybe even the teens, just sort of depends on things. Is it below zero temperatures? Probably not yet, but it's something that we certainly want to keep an eye out with this, based off of what we have just been through. I will say this, even though the GFS isn't catching on to this idea yet at all, it actually warms us up more during this time period. You remember a few videos a couple of weeks ago, I did a video and I showed you the European model when it took us below zero for that first time, and I put a big X on the screen and I said, I just think this was a bad run. Well, the next night and the next night after that, I kept doing the same thing. All of a sudden my tune changed and I said, guys, this could be something that we're looking at. And then finally 4 or 5 days later, the GFS was like, oh, hey, we're going below zero, and it caught up. That's a trend we'll want to see whether this happens or not, because the European model is saying this colder weather could be coming in. The GFS is not. Will the GFS catch up to it, or is this just maybe a bad run? We'll see. It's only one run right now, but something that we definitely want to keep an eye on and see whether it's worth trending or not. So, and then just to show you what I'm talking about in here, during that time frame whenever it keeps us colder, it does take us down to low temperatures around 18 with highs in the mid-20s. So even with this, it's not looking like bitterly cold temperatures yet, thankfully, but we'll keep a trend on that, because it does look like beyond this, if I were to just sort of put this into motion, you see another piece of the polar vortex. Here you go. You just back it up, watch it break off of this and dive down over us again. So, and those are some pretty cold temperatures there as well by the 18th of January. So again, we've got multiple shots according to the Euro model of some cold weather, so we will just take that for what it's worth. All right, southernindianaweather.com. You can get the 7-day forecast, and by the way, I made some changes to my website today, so take a look through those. And one of the biggest things that I've done is added our forecast videos up here, very accessible and easy to you. And by the way, a mobile app will be coming out soon. I'm in development on that right now, so I'm already starting to advertise about that. If you're a smartphone user, that'll be coming out soon for both the Android and iPhone markets. We're excited about that. So take a look at us, take a look around, and if you're interested in advertising, we got some great advertising spots for you as well. If you just go to About and you click on Advertise with Us, you can get some information. We've gotten some really great things going on that I think would really help your business if you're interested in doing that. As you can go through, read through here, and you can see actual statistics. This particular post had over 33,000 people who saw this, and you can go down and you can see some of the other things. 13,000 folks saw this one, and you can get some of the details there about advertising with us and potentially what they do. So if you're a business owner, keep that in mind. We'd love to work with you on a custom solution. 7-day forecast, there's that rain-snow mix for today, but I think we're only going down to about 31 tonight, so it's not going to be anything bad. 48 tomorrow. Boy, is that ever going to be nice compared to the temperatures we've had. Showers likely, again, mainly in the afternoon. I've put a 40% chance in there, but really that's more for the daytime. If I put it for the nighttime, it would be more like a 70% chance, so probably ought to update that. It does look, the latest models are trending more. I did this forecast this morning before I went to work, so the latest models are certainly trending that more. I'll probably go ahead and log in and raise that to a 70% based on the latest data. It looks like Friday evening, again, is going to be the biggest of the accumulations. But hey, only going down to 40 on Friday night for a low. That ain't bad at all. 46 on Saturday, rain likely, but early in the day. And that's a reversal from where this system is basically sped up a little bit. So basically I need to lower this to a 70%. Raise this to a 70% on Friday and lower it to a 40% on Saturday based on that system speeding up. Does look like it may still be a pretty gloomy day with mostly cloudy skies on Saturday at this point now, but at least most of Saturday is going to be fairly dry. And then Sunday, not bad at all. That's the pick of the weekend by far. Mostly sunny skies and up to 45. Scattered showers, possibly even some snow showers on Tuesday night as we go down to a low near 32. And then the bottom falls out on the thermometer as we go back down to 33 again, but hey, I'll take 33 any day over what we have had. So that's your 7-day forecast and sort of what to expect over the coming days. I'll have more of these videos to come, and you know, it's just kind of nice to have some, I guess, boring weather for a change, isn't it, compared to what we've been through. We may still have some interesting weather coming up. If this verifies, we'll certainly have some interesting weather, but we'll keep an eye on it. Stay tuned to our Facebook page and to these YouTube videos, and we will keep you updated. For Southern Indiana Weather, I'm Meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great night, folks, and take care.